This podcast is sponsored by Marias Gamesa. Marias Gamesa knows that motherhood is a journey full of love, learning, and care, and our cookies have been part of that journey for over 100 years. Whether you're recreating family dessert recipes or creating new holiday traditions like making s'mores or bonding over a PB&J sandwich made with Marias Gamesa, these cookies are there to make every moment special. They're a way to share love with your family every day.
Dunk them in coffee, tea, or hot chocolate. Pair them or create your own dessert magic. However you choose to enjoy Maria's Gamesa cookies, it's perfect for warming up those cozy moments with flavor that feels like home. Maria's Gamesa, made with mom's authentic love.
Okay. There are people who can't, won't, or don't want to do things without their significant other being there. So do you think that's a sense of codependency?
Absolutely. Your identity has to live past your relationship. Because let's be real, when you separate from that person, what do you have for yourself?
Hi, I'm Krystal Vega.
Hi, I'm Amanda Booz. And this is Elevathers Podcast,
where we talk about the peaks and valleys of life's journey, from relationships to entrepreneurships, friendships, you name it, we're talking about it, and even give you a taste of the sizzling social media hot topics, all through the lens of modern womanhood. Hey,
that's
girl,
right. Hey, girl.
It's just you and I.
It's always you and I sometimes, and I love it. Mm-hmm. You know, we have special guests here and there, but I really enjoy when we have our girl talks, our chats,
our one-on-one
on the camera and off the camera, because I really feel like, and I have to say this, I appreciate you, because I feel like sometimes when I'm in it going through it, I'll be like, Krystal, I need a piece of advice. I need this, that, and the third. And you're a great listening ear and a sound mind. And, you know, I love that. And I appreciate you.
Here for you.
Thank you.
Ready to listen to your gossip and drama whenever you need.
Yeah. Not too much,
right? I love that you say that, though, because I agree. Like, I love being able to lean on my friends whenever I need somebody to talk to. And I feel like this is super, like, quick segue for us, because while I love, like, being able to, like, talk to my friends and stuff, today we're going to be talking about, like, solitude and, like, thriving in your
own company.
Right.
You're alone, but you're not lonely. And I love that we're talking about this too, especially in this new season, right? I think we have so many, you know, we have some stuff that we post on the internet and clips and stuff about, like, you know, being in groups of relationships with women where, you know, we're elevating each other and we're shining our light and so on and so forth. But we also see you guys' comments, and we want to tap in and let you know that we see you, we hear you, and we know that a lot of people are saying, I wish I was in spaces with a lot of women, or I wish I was able to make connections like that. And sometimes it's hard, right? Sometimes there's times where you're in seasons where you don't have a group of friends and you're in your own space, but we want to uplift you and let you know that you're not alone, and that you are going to thrive in your company with this conversation, this chat that we have today. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's healthy and it's safe to be by yourself. I want to, like, start the conversation with us and talk about kind of like where we're finding, like, I guess, our power in being alone. And I think for me, right, this started when I was younger. Like, as a young girl growing up in my house, I am one of four. So I have 3 siblings. But growing up, it was just me. Yeah. So I grew up as an only child. I had only child syndrome, you can say. And I think that's where the birth of my solitude came from, was I had to make my own fun. Girl, like, I was literally by myself, like, you know, sometimes looking for a friend, but it was just me, myself, and I. And I think being in that space growing up, and sometimes being like a latchkey kid, where and if you don't know what that means, like, you walk home from school, sometimes you're in the house and it's just you until your parents get off from work. And I think for me, that helped me understand how to be alone and by myself. Like, I don't necessarily always need to be in a space of somebody, because I know what it feels like to be by myself.
Because you've always been by yourself for the most part. Like, you don't really have siblings. That's the opposite.
Do have siblings, but never grew up with them.
Yeah, it's separate households. You have half siblings, right? That live in different households, at least. That's so opposite for me, because I grew up in a family where I also have siblings, but my brothers live with my mom and I. But even when it wasn't just my mom and I, like, it was a house
filled with people. So I've always been around company. It's the complete opposite for me. But I think that as I've gotten older, I just found a lot of power in being alone, and when I say alone, I want to be clear, alone, not lonely.
Period.
Two very different things.
Yep.
But I have found power and productivity in my solitude. And when I have felt in the past that, being by myself was a little lonely or whatever the case may be, or I felt like I was lonely or whatever the case may be, I always found a way to turn that loneliness into something productive. So I'm excited to talk about this today too, because I feel like there's a very big difference between loneliness and just like solitude in your independence.
Absolutely. And I'm excited to talk about this with you because I think it's so important. Being alone helps you literally develop and create your own personality. You're not influenced or easily influenced by other people. You're able to sit in your own thoughts. You're able to create your own judgment without needing to tap. And we're going to get a little bit more into it, of tap into other people for that. And it just, to me, that's what makes you authentic. Like, you're not... you're not being influenced by anybody but yourself and your own thoughts.
And honestly, I feel like I had to learn the hard way, to be quite frank, right? But like the hard way, but like also not so hard. So when I moved down to Miami the first time, that was the first time I've ever been by myself. Like no family in the same state as me, nobody in the same apartment as me, because I come from a generational household. I was my grandmother, my mother. You get what I'm saying? Like, it was a bunch of us in the house, a bunch of Puerto Ricans. When I moved down to Miami by myself, there were times where I'm like, I'm a little bored. What do I do with this time? And I had just found like different things to do. But, sometimes it did get hard being by myself, but I would always remember like something positive. There's always a silver lining, because again, alone is not lonely. Two different things. And sometimes we blur the line between those two things. So I want to talk about kind of like the benefits of being by yourself, or like enjoying, your own presence and your own time and your own energy with nobody else around, because there are a lot of benefits aside from just like productivity. Like for me, one was self-awareness. Like I feel like being by myself really allowed me the space and time to just think about things. And it could have been think about why the sky is blue. It could have been thinking about like something that happened at work or something like that, whatever the case may be. But it just gave me time and space to just think. Yeah. Instead of just moving and grooving and like moving on to the next
impulse
thing.
Too. Yeah. It helps you do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. And I have to give a shout out to my parents really quick. I love my parents. But you ever have like those sayings or things that like your mom used to say to you that stuck with you as an adult? I think for me, it was anytime my mom or my dad dropped me off at school, or anytime I was departing somewhere, they would always tell me, Amanda, always be yourself. And it's something that I would get annoyed. I'm like, I am myself. Like, like growing up, be like, stop telling me that. Like, I am myself. But literally my mom would be like, always be yourself in whatever situation you're in. Always be yourself. Always be yourself. Always be yourself. And that's something that stuck with me till this day. And I know we get annoyed growing up that we hear these sayings that our parents say, but that was one thing that she used to always say to me. And I'm so grateful that she said that, because I never felt that I needed to be, like influenced from other people. And I think another thing that I've been able to receive in being alone is that has helped with like stress and anxiety for me too. Like not being able to have the pressure of, trying to compete to be something that I'm not, or, just having to people please.
Yeah. I feel that. And like I said, for me, another benefit was just productivity. Yeah. Like if I ever felt that I had too much time on my hands, I like to say,
you got into some work.
I got into some work because I think idle time is where the devil plays.
Oof.
So
Say that again.
Idle time is where the devil plays. You start getting into stuff that you don't really need to be into, scrolling on this, scrolling on that. And don't get me wrong, I'm a scroller, okay? But I think that literally like that kind of saying could be related to many different things, whether it's social media or not. Yeah. But I always find something productive to do.
I love that you said that.
Even if the productivity in it is just me giving like myself some self-care, like watching a Netflix show or something like that. But I always find something productive to do in my idle time so that I feel like I'm entertaining myself. I don't need entertainment from anybody else. So yeah, productivity is a big benefit of spending time alone.
And you want to know something else I thought about when you said about you living in Miami alone and trying to find things to do? Another benefit of being alone is eliminating yourself being in groups of people that are not good for your health. There's a lot of times that I feel like people hang out with groups of people, or, you know, they're like, you have your fun friend, you have this friend, you have this friend. I feel like when you're alone, you don't have to force relationships. When you're alone, you don't have to be in the company of people that you know deep down inside you have no reason to being with those groups of people or those, like, that one specific person. So the beauty in being alone is that you know that you can control yourself and you don't have to worry about controlling others, and you don't have to feel uncomfortable if you're in a space with people and they do the wrong thing, because if you're in the wrong people, wrong place, wrong space, wrong time,
it can change a lot for you.
You're still in the midst of it.
Yeah, but you also get to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying is you get to create a deeper relationship with yourself. Like, think about the things you like, the things that you don't like, or think about the people you like to be around, the people that you don't like to be around. There's just a lot of, like, power and beauty in spending time by yourself.
There's another one I want to say. You ready for this?
What?
Another benefit of being alone is it's self-healing. You cannot heal your past traumas. You cannot heal relationship traumas. You cannot heal as a person to be able to develop new relationships and new friendships if you cannot sit with yourself. You cannot jump from one relationship to the next and thinking that it's going to put a Band-Aid and it's going to completely wipe away all the feelings that you have from something else, because someone else could come into your life and trigger you in a way where that wound is back open. So you have to find the time. And I'm speaking to my girlies out there who feel like, you know, they're alone and they want to be in a relationship. I get it. I know we all love. And I feel like every one of us, and we've said this on the show, you've said it, deserve love, but the right kind of love. And don't feel like because you're taking up space and time with somebody that it's right, because it's not.
I've been sitting here nodding my head for the last 30
Really?
seconds because I'm like, no, you're preaching, because I think that that's a mistake that a lot of us, maybe when we're young, do. Like, we're one relationship to the next relationship, and you really don't allow yourself time to reflect on what you just came out of so that you could fix it for what you're moving into. And I think that...
What do they call that? They call it codependency, right? Codependency issues.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. I think that sometimes people don't realize that they are extremely codependent on external presences. Sure. You know what I'm saying? But, like, external company. And that's something I feel like you have to grow out of too, because I experienced that a lot in high school. Like, I always want to be with my friends and this, that, and the third. But, like, after high school and college, like, you really learn, like,
Gotta cut that out. Nip that in the
bud.
bud.
By yourself, honey.
You figure it out.
Yep. Y'all got classes here, classes there, and, like, now you are really independent by yourself. So I feel like maybe that was the first time I've experienced, like, being independent.
Alone.
Yeah, in college.
You know what I'm gonna do is ruffle some feathers when I say this too. Being codependent also means not necessarily, it's not just in relationships, but it also could be with family. Stop asking your mom to make your doctor's appointment. Make your own doctor's appointment. Stop asking your mom who your dentist is. Stop asking your mom who your physicians are for certain things. Your parents should not be at a certain age still setting your appointments. And I'm speaking to, I know, a lot of us, because I was still asking my mom to set up my gyno appointments, my doctor's appointments. Like, be independent.
You know what? Do you think it's possible to be codependent in a relationship and or in a marriage?
Ooh, what do you mean by that? Like, okay.
There are people who can't, won't, or don't want to do things without their significant other being there. So do you think that's a sense of codependency?
Absolutely. I feel like in any situation that you're in, if you're in a relationship, you have to have your own identity. Your identity has to live past your relationship. Because let's be real, although when we get into marriage and relationships, we don't want them to end. We don't get into something hoping that it's going to just fall to the wayside. But if it does, hopefully, God willing, it doesn't. When you separate from that person, what do you have for yourself? And I think that's what I would think about is, I'm gonna have fun. I want to eat with my man. I want to do this. I want to do that. But I'm also gonna go to my Pilates class. I'm also gonna go work out. I'm also gonna hang out with my girl. I'm also gonna have creative meetings with you. Like, I'm also gonna do different things outside of that is going to be what represents me as a person and the things that I'm passionate about. Your passions have to be outside of your relationship. They cannot just be what your significant other likes, you automatically like. And I think that's boring.
Yeah, making your relationship your whole personality is kind of crazy. But I know that's a hot take, but I agree with you. I think very much you need to have your own identity outside of your relationship, because it's very easy to get wrapped up in somebody else's world. And that doesn't mean that you want to be outside doing whatever you want and being single and independent. That does not mean that to me. But I feel like based on the healthy relationships that I have seen, or the healthy marriages that I have seen, they promote independence. They also promote doing hobbies alone and separate so that they can remain, themselves, but also that helps them be the best version of themselves in that marriage. So I agree with you very much. I think that kind of like what we were talking about a couple weeks ago, where it's like, why is your man at girls' night anyways?
When you hear a good idea, it's natural to do a double take. That's what you might do when you hear Discover will automatically double the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match.
Wait, what?
Yup. Double the cash back is something so good, you might do a triple take. It pays to Discover. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Why is your man at girls' night anyways?
Yeah.
Girl, you can't come outside.
You gotta come by yourself. You gotta come by yourself.
Like, you gotta learn how to move around by yourself. And not just because you want to leave your man at home, like I said, but because like there's also, you create a sense of like codependency when you don't.
Yeah. So one benefit is creating independent resilience. And I think another one that we've been touching on too is a deeper sense of self, but like building deeper relationships. You can't create a relationship and have really successful friendships and relationships with people if you don't really know what it is that you can bring to the table and who you are at your core. You know what I mean? Like you have to establish what that identity is by yourself. And honestly, let's be real, I just like my quiet time. I just sometimes, like, you ever just feel like just overstimulated when you're with your friends and like you go out so many times and you're like, I just need 3 days to myself. Like I just need a few days. Don't call my phone. I'm a DND. I'm gonna turn my phone off for a little bit. Like I just need to sit in my thoughts. I know that's something we say a lot. Let me sit in my thoughts.
Yeah.
You know?
My favorite thing is like, let me chew that over. Be right back.
This podcast is sponsored by Marias Camesa. Marias Camesa knows that motherhood is a journey full of love, learning, and care, and our cookies have been part of that journey for over 100 years. Whether you're recreating family dessert recipes or creating new holiday traditions like making s'mores or bonding over a PB&J sandwich made with Marias Camesa, these cookies are there to make every moment special. They're a way to share love with your family every day.
Dunk them in coffee, tea, or hot chocolate. Pair them or create your own dessert magic. However you choose to enjoy Maria's Gamesa cookies, it's perfect for warming up those cozy moments with flavor that feels like home. Maria's Gamesa, made with mom's authentic love.
Yeah.
You know?
My favorite thing is like, let me chew that over. Be right back. Let me chew that over. No, I love that you say that, because I think that we're speaking very like ambiguously right now, but I want to give like practical tips on how can people practice thriving in their independence. And for me, I feel like definitely sitting in my thoughts is one of them, but I love to just crack open like a bottle of wine by myself, have a glass, and watch some Netflix and just chill, and literally turning the phone off, not being on social media at all, but just enjoying a Friday night by myself. Like that to me is a very practical solo date.
I love that. And that's relaxing. Just a wine with a little wine and popcorn. I love that.
And I will say, I know people like to do solo trips. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know how people do that.
Have you done one?
I have never done a solo trip.
That's one of my goals.
People
that is a goal.
like
I wanna do a solo
strive
trip
for that. People love solo trips. I'm not gonna lie, you could count me out of that one.
But that's something you could do.
I see why. I would love to hear why you are interested in a solo trip. What is it?
Yeah, I think for me, I've always said that, and I said that, because I've done like the group birthday trips, I've done the group birthday things, but I feel like one of my birthdays, I'm not sure when it's going to be yet, but I do want to do like a solo like whether it be like a birthday trip or just a solo trip by myself. Cause I just think it's a lot. I feel like when you don't have like other people's opinions, you can go and eat at a restaurant that you want to eat at. You don't have to consult with anybody. You can move at your own space, at your own pace. And I think it just brings a sense of peace when you're able to travel. Like, I think traveling alone is a huge step, especially to like an international country. I don't know if it's going to be international first or if it's going to be like somewhere in the USA, but I do want to take a nice, I feel like a therapeutic retreat somewhere, like a hotel where it's like meditation and massages and tea, and like I'm doing that. I think I seen something in like Arizona. I don't know if it was like in Sedona or whatever, like something that's just super therapeutic. And I'm gonna bring my journal. I'm gonna bring some good music, and I think that's also a good way to benefit is to get creative. So I think that is something that's beneficial. I was gonna say something else I wanted to add. I know you mentioned cracking open a bottle of wine. One of my favorite things to do, and I learned this when I lived in Mobile, Alabama for a little bit. This is when you were in Miami. So when you were in Miami, I was here. I was like, because if he was here, we would have been.
We would have been doing this.
We would have been hanging out. But one of the things I used to love doing, don't judge me, but I used to get up in the morning on Sunday, it was in the South, but I used to go to Cracker Barrel. I used to sit at Cracker Barrel by myself at the table, have my little brunch, love their pancakes. But also I would just go to bars and restaurants and literally sit by myself.
I like that though, because you meet people even though we're talking about being by yourself.
Yeah, and if you're single and you're looking to date and meet people or even create new friendships, I think going to the bar will spark conversations you don't even realize. I can't tell you how many times I sat at the bar by myself where somebody would just easily come up to me and be like, hey, what you drinking? And then easily just tell the bartender to grab me a drink, and then we start a conversation. And it could be so innocent.
I feel you. I think it's a great way to meet people, but I will say, I don't know if I can do a dinner by myself or something like that, because I'm a family style girl at the table. So I'm like, you order 2 apps, I'll order 2 apps, and we'll try it together.
You're like, I'll do lunch. I'll do like a lunch.
Maybe like a salad by myself at a restaurant, but like dinner.
It's giving greedy.
I need a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I need somebody else with me to help me,
Why you can't just get all the appetizers by yourself?
No, because
they're gonna be like, is there someone else gonna sit next to you?
Damn, little lady.
No.
That's what they gonna say.
It's just me.
Damn. But you know what I will say too? Finding a hobby. And I think that finding a hobby that you're not necessarily trying to make money from is very important. Find something that you like to do just because you like to do it, not because you want to find some sort of like monetary success from it, whatever the case may be.
That's big.
I have found that I really enjoy painting and dog grooming. I love...
You groomed Rice and Bronx?
I do. Like, well,
really?
I shower them and like dry them and stuff, but like I can kind of find like peace in that. I don't know why, but I did it a couple weeks ago and I was like, oh, I really like this. And then the next weekend came and I'm like, are they ready for a bath again? But you can't shower them that much.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, like I really enjoyed that. And I like used clippers on them and everything. I was like, who am
Oh my goodness.
But I enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, I think low key, like, I might have found a little hobby for myself.
That's a good one. I like that.
Not bad. I'll save some dollars.
Yeah, you definitely save you some coins in doing that. So a hobby that you can save money.
I liked it without the monetary part regardless.
Yeah. No, and I agree. I think the same thing. Like, I love, like, trying to take a new workout class. I know we're trying to do an aerial yoga class. Like, challenge your mind. I know some of us are very routine structured where we have to go to the same workout class every day. We take the same 5:30 cycling class or this, that, and the third. But I think when you change it up and you do different hobbies by yourself, that also is a great practical tip. And then something else that I really enjoy doing is journaling. I love journaling. Getting your thoughts out on paper is just so healing. And one of the reasons why I journal, I'm gonna be honest, it's not even for just the idea of just like fleshing out my thoughts and just like creatively just maybe thinking of new ideas or anything like that. But I can't wait for myself 10 years, 15 years down the line where I still have these journals and I go back and I revisit where I was at that point in my life. Like,
that's so crazy that you're saying that because I used to write a lot to myself.
Really?
But I was writing with the intention of like, maybe I'll sell a book one day.
Yeah.
And I actually recently looked at my previous writing from like 2 or 3 years ago because after my grandmother passed, I like stopped writing. But I looked at my notes from 2 or 3 years ago and I was like, A, I need to get back into writing just to flesh out like my thoughts for the day. But B, it also used to help me reflect on things, because sometimes I would feel like, damn, like I'm not doing enough or whatever, and writing would allow me to reflect and say, oh, like, no, I did this, I did that, or whatever the case may be. But C, so when I looked at my writing from a couple years ago, I was like, oh my God, I was such a baby, and I grew so much, and also like I was in such a
Baby
rut.
Krystal.
I know, baby Chris. And I was in such a rut like during some of those like writing sessions, and to like reflect on it was just a moment where I was able to be, it was just like a reminder, like, even though things might be bad, they will always get better.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. And for anyone who's like a beginning like person in journaling, like me, I could just literally open a page and I'm speaking to the paper, like I'm saying everything. Like how Moesha was with her Dear Diary. Like I'm literally like, Dear Diary. Like I'm literally saying everything.
As told by Ginger.
As told, like everything. But if you're the type of person that sometimes you can't get a thought out and you don't know what to say, go to Pinterest. They have tons of journal prompts, or like just look online. And also I know people are saying there's new like chat GTP prompts and stuff that you could put in. Like there's things that you can do that will just kind of like help spark something in you to write something. And something else that I've been doing, and I've been doing this like probably for a couple of years now, I have it like in like a Google Doc, but I started like a gratitude journal where I try to write 3 things every single day that I am grateful for. Because I feel like, to your point, when you're looking at your journal or you're like thinking about, dang, like I'm like, where am I at? I feel like before you kind of get to the negative, like always be grateful for something and then write down what you're grateful for. So that's a gratitude journal is something too, but I think those are some really good tips.
And you kind of grazed over this earlier, but I'm going to let you segue it. But you talked about dependency when it comes to friends.
Oh my goodness.
Tell them about it.
I think one of the best ways to elevate is finding peace in your solidarity. And that also means cutting the umbilical cord to your friend group. I'm not saying not to be with your friends. I'm not saying not to hang with your friends, but I'm saying sometimes, and I'm like this too, like we lean on our friends for a lot of different things. And sometimes check the temperature. Check the temperature and make sure your bestie or your friend can receive the information that you are trying to divulge on them. You're trying to give them all this weight. Hey girl, can I really vent to you? Are you in the headspace to receive this? Because you don't know on the other end, your friend may not be as vulnerable, or your friend may not be in the space, but because you're their friend, they're gonna say, yeah, sure. But like read the room. And sometimes I think I have done this in the past too, where I'm like, I want to get an opinion from like my bestie, or I want to get an opinion from my friend to make sure I'm not tripping, or just because I, naturally have been like an overthinker, and I want to make sure like that's something that I, do. But I've started to not be the first person to say something right when it happens. I might sit for a few days, and sometimes my friends are like, dang, how come you never told me this? And I was like, I'm trying to practice something new where I'm sitting in my feelings and I'm sitting into this first and then revisiting it. Because when you react right when something happens, or you ask your friend for something in the moment, you're basically telling yourself you're not emotionally mature to process something by yourself.
Yikes.
That's what it says.
No, I
That's
agree.
what it says.
I mean
any little thing like, girl, should I wear these shoes? Or like sometimes we do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do it. Well, I'm gonna let you say this, but I'm gonna say what else.
No. I was gonna say the same exact thing. I think that we're gonna do it all the time. Yeah. But I think that we need to recognize when you literally cannot make the decision by yourself. Because it's one thing to want to know your friend's opinion. It's another thing to not be able to make the decision by yourself, and you need that person's opinion, or you need somebody else's opinion. But in general, I love where you were going with this, because I think that everybody needs to learn how to be their own consultant and not consult their friends for every little reason. What shoes should I wear? What should I say to this guy? Or he said this, what do you think about this situation?
He texts back hi.
Yeah, he texts back hi. Or like, this happened to me today, what do you think about it? Like, no, babe, like, what do you think about it?
Yeah, you got it. I believe in you. Let's take the training wheels off of relationships with our friends. Let's take them off and ride that bike by yourself. And something that I think is funny that we all do, stop asking your friend if this Instagram picture is okay to post. Just post it. Stop consulting with your friend about your social media post unless you think it's something that you're not sure you should post or not, and you want from a professional perspective. But stop asking them if those 3 pictures are cute or not. Just post it. I still might do a little bit.
I was gonna say, I ain't life. Listen,
It depends. But I'm still
ask you if it's post worthy.
I'm asking you which picture you like.
One.
Yes.
Because it's going up.
Yes.
But which one do you like? No, for sure.
We all live the same life. I promise. I'm
we
just
really
joking,
do.
but we do.
But I agree with you. I think that especially when it comes to friendships, we do have to take the training wheels off of the relationship just a little bit, because I think you made a great point. You don't know what that friend is going through, and they might not be in the mood to tell you what shoes to wear. Okay? Figure it out yourself. Especially like if you don't absolutely need that opinion.
Yeah. So be
For
your
whatever
own
reason.
consultant at the end of the day. But we really just want to like inspire our listeners, our viewers, everyone that loves our show, that it is okay to be in a season by yourself, and also understand that things are seasonal. You may be lonely right now. Tomorrow you may be at the grocery store. You may meet the love of your life. Things change, and we're all, you say this all the time, living life for the first time. We don't always have the answers, and we shouldn't depend on other people to have the final say and the final answers. And I feel like there's so many like books. Another thing you could do, a toolkit, is read some books on things that you might be going through, or things that you might need help with. I'm a self-awareness girly. I love like books that are just going to help me be a better person. And I think there's books for whatever that you may be, needing some help with. But I want to, before we end the show, play a little game.
Let's do it.
You ready? So I know that by now y'all know us a little bit. Y'all know a little something about us, right? But this is like a guess who game. I found this random game, but I wanted to basically say what it says on the card, and we have to guess who. I wonder if it's going to, but it has to be one person. Maybe it could be both. Guess who would be the scenario?
Okay. Should we split the cards in half?
Yes, let's split it.
Okay.
Okay.
You're not going to shuffle it.
Sorry.
She's cheating already, y'all.
It's not a win game. Okay.
Oh my God, stop. This is so funny.
You ready?
So, no, we'll just say like which one of us this card like is a reflection of.
Say what it is, and then yeah.
Okay.
And then I think 1, 2, 3, and we say the name.
Okay. Needs consulting before posting to Instagram.
1, 2, 3.
Both of us.
Both of us. No, it is both of us. It is both of us. It is both of us. Both of them. Both
Facts.
of us. Okay, ready?
You go.
This one is funny. Can only make plans one day out. Krystal. Don't ask that girl 3 weeks in advance to go to lunch with you. It's not happening. Hit her up the day before. Check the temperature. My girl is busy, okay? And she might be down for it, but then she might be like,
The day of.
the weather isn't that great.
It's raining.
It's rainy. It may rain.
No, you are absolutely right. I am not going to lie. All right. Goes to foreign country to find themselves. You.
I love Julia Roberts. I think that's my girl. So I'm very much an eat, pray, love. I'm going to go somewhere and come back and be like,
Dead. Definitely you. I said, I can't. I don't know. I don't think I would be able to do a solo trip for real.
I think I so can. I can't wait. And then when I do it, I'm going to share with you guys. I can't wait to do it. Okay. Never text you back. I don't even have to answer that.
Guilty.
I'll be like, hello? When you have to send the eyes.
Is anybody there?
Like, when you send the eyes, it's like, come on now.
I'm so bad. I be responding in my head.
You say that sometimes, too.
All the time. I respond in my head.
Gotta close them tabs.
And I forget things all the time. It's so bad. I'm also in a busy season right now, but I am pretty bad with
Amen.
texting
Blessings
back.
and blessings.
God
Rain
is
on
good.
in. We love a busy season.
Okay.
Yeah, your friend's not texting you back. They might just be busy.
Okay.
Give them time.
Don't take it personal.
Don't take it personal, yes.
Okay. Has revelations about life that lead to bouts of crying?
I think that's me.
I think that's you too.
I'm a crybaby.
You are.
I feel like I just had a life epiphany.
Yeah. Oh my God! One time you were crying about something. You were sad about something,
And you were laughing?
and I was laughing, and I was.
That's not funny. See?
Right, and that's what you
You
said
see?
too. I said, "Oh no, she's dead serious sad. That's so crazy. You are a crybaby."
I am. I'm emotional. I'm really an empath. Like I really feel. I
You
feel my
are.
feelings. I feel them, but
That's too
I
funny.
wouldn't trade it for the world. Okay, this one is funny. Could network at a funeral. Well, you said who did what and what and who and who?
And, wow, that's what do you do? Oh, and how do you know the person that's? Oh my God! Stop! That's so mean.
Now, how do you know the person it's crazy?
Yeah.
How do you?
were you
I
tied
hate
to
to
the
say
scenario?
it. I know we're here for a bad situation, but
how do you know
I have a
such and
proposal I
such?
want to share with you. Business is business. You got to get it while you live it.
Bye. On that note, we are ending the show. I cannot stand you. No, but in all seriousness, we really want you guys to just practice like being in your power and by yourself. And we hope this episode can give you some sort of tips to do that or speak some positivity into you to want to do that, spend some time by yourself.
Yeah, and hopefully we're your virtual friend. Yes, we love you, sending you love.
Stay tuned.
If you like this episode, like, comment, subscribe, share with somebody that you think would also benefit from it. But thanks, guys.
Bye.
We have two very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.